It should.
That's so long. Yeah.
That's not right. It's 6:08 though.
It has been hurting like all day.
But when did you actually get sick last night?
I went to like 3. Woken up at 9. Yeah, I thought my math homework was due like at 12 today, but then he pushed it back 2 days. I was just like, oh, damn it.
Well, when do you normally get sick?
Well, it's like probably like 12.
Okay, yeah.
It's like pretty morning. Well, that's probably still too late considering I have to wake up early for like an 8 a.m.
I mean, I don't think it like close to 12 and I 8 a.m. as well. But I guess I'm tired.
Ideally, probably like 10 would be a good time to sleep.
Sure.
But, it's like too much work. I can't finish in time. Yeah.
I'll probably just skim through these slides because I might just put them there if people couldn't make it. I'll just scan through. Yeah. Yeah.
And your marketing thing really works.
I don't know if that. Well, we can pull them. Ask something.
Yeah. Like people keep joining this. I don't even know how they're finding it. Like, didn't make any announcements.
I thought the ACM newsletter, right? Yeah.
Like after the first week, there'd be like anyone who was interested would have joined. It's like it's been like a slow trickle.
You know which photo face? Oh, they're like 2.
The share tea, but I also people don't like it. I don't know the other place though. Let's just ask them for a little different.
I was just
I. Oh my gosh. Harry, what the hell? Yeah. I think I just did the lower div, like all the lower div engineering pieces. It's just like a like a junk or something. He like just comes in for one. Oh, he used to. I don't know.
I feel like he just already made all his money. He's
Yeah.
doing this in a side gig.
You don't get that something super significant.
I just knew like he like hopped around like a bunch of places.
You made it.
So many cars. I feel like skipping so many wheels. Like you went out like I had a fever like 2 months ago. You know how much I like cut down my like I flexed in the mirror. And it was like dude, it was insane though. I don't know what I don't know what I was in a volleyball. Is it like that strategy?
You want to start, Daniel?
Getting the
Daniel.
field.
6:55.
All right, everybody. Thank you all for coming. To our GM, yeah, we're really grateful for that. So we're basically just going to go through everything we have planned for this quarter, and then we're going to roll into the social.
Wait.
Cool, yeah.
So who are we? We are ACM Cloud, a new initiative focused on bringing cloud computing to UCLA. Currently, there isn't a lot of educational infrastructure to support the use and increase adoption of cloud computing or spread knowledge among students. So we're here to fill that gap. Okay, so just to introduce, what is cloud computing? So most modern companies are huge providers of software, and a lot of these companies need a lot of digital infrastructure. They need a lot of servers. They need a lot of compute capacity, and they need a lot of like network capabilities as well. And so cloud computing helps these companies develop rapidly and cuts down on costs for this type of infrastructure. So sources of operating costs typically consist of things like physical costs. So we're talking about like storage space, like you need a bunch of real estate to store all these servers. You need to also comply with a lot of country-specific regulations, and you need to like buy the servers as well, right? Like those NVIDIA GPUs are like getting scalped by everyone. Like those cost $100,000 each, and you have to have like an entire room of them. So that's a huge upfront cost. In addition, you need to hire a lot of personnel to manage all this infrastructure, and the electricity bill isn't cheap either. A lot of these places can, run electricity bills up into the like tens of thousands of dollars each month. And so, what if we want to scale, right? So if our currently built out capacity is completely used up, we would have to build out new storage spaces. So we'd either have to like rent out another space or, do a complete renovation of our currently rented real estate. In addition, you have to purchase more servers, and if our load is fluctuating, that causes a lot of waste in our budget. And so with these problems, we can summarize them with four things. So an on-premise model has an issue of large upfront costs. It's inefficient in its reliability. It has low availability, and it's inefficient to scale. And so to solve this issue, cloud computing was created. So basically, we just outsource all of this digital infrastructure to third parties like AWS in our case, and what you'll be learning about this quarter. So we still control the compute instances, the storage and networking, but all the physical infrastructure is basically owned by either Amazon, Google, or Microsoft, or Adobe in case of SaaS software. And so to solve these issues of the on-premise model, we basically replace them with a pay-as-you-go model. So you only pay for the resources that you use. You basically have an hardware reliability guarantee. So Amazon is like $1 trillion company. So there's like pretty much a 0% chance that the servers will go offline. And they have multiple backups that you just could not afford if you were managing all this infrastructure yourself. In addition, you can have elastic compute capacity, so you can scale up and scale down within minutes. And yeah, so that's cool, but so what? So cloud computing is a huge segment of the economy, and that means if you learn about it, you'll be reigning it in. So yeah, we have multi-cloud is a big chunk of the cloud computing market. We have also a single public and single private, which is a smaller segment. And if you look at the raw numbers, that's 52 billion in 2017 with SaaS. That's like more than like 60, 70 billion in 2017, and it's only been growing exponentially throughout the past 5 years. And so, what about developers? So deploying code for the cloud is much easier since it's a unified platform. You can create code with dedicated CI/CD libraries as well as DevOps infrastructure created specifically for the cloud computing platform. That makes it much easier than deploying your own pipelines in your private infrastructure. In addition, we have cloud development kits that allow you to develop software for the cloud and test it much easier. And this capability would not be provided if you were to manage this infrastructure yourself.
Cool, yeah. So now now that you have the basics for what cloud actually is, let's get into what ACM Cloud aims to do. So we have a mission statement here. You can read it if you want. Basically, what we're trying to do is give you some hands-on experience, preferably in a project-based setting, working with cloud so that when you go into industry or whether you're doing something personal, you can do it and have full working knowledge of what you're actually doing. Okay, cool. So one of the great things that we're doing this quarter is we're actually recruiting. So applications have unfortunately closed by now, but at the next meeting, you will see that the intern team and we'll introduce them and you'll get to meet them. And another thing we're doing this quarter that Daniel briefly hinted at is running our AWS workshop series. So what we're going to be doing is using AWS to deploy a full stack app. So what does that really mean? Well, first I'll describe what a full stack app is. So if we take the example of Google, generally you'd probably like open a browser, right, type something in. And that corresponds to the front end here, where the users can directly interact with some sort of application, right? But Google doesn't want to give you their proprietary algorithm and have it sitting on your computer, right, where you can just go and try to read it. And in addition to that, it would be very inefficient to send their algorithm out to every user, right? So what they do is they have their own servers that are sitting in some warehouse that they own that has that algorithm. So your front end will connect to this application tier to actually do most of the heavy lifting logic, and then you'll get some result that it'll display here back on the front end. So the last part of that is the data tier at the bottom. So Google probably has some sort of indexing or other data that they store, maybe like a mapping, like a search term to the actual links that should be displayed. So for a full stack app, we're going to need to implement all three of these tiers. So yeah, now that we know kind of what a full stack app is, we chose to use AWS, which is the largest kind of cloud provider in the market, to implement this. And this is something very common that you'll see done in industry. Okay, cool. So here I have a kind of short breakdown of all the workshop topics that we're going to be going through. And then on the top right there, I have a little diagram showing the architecture that we're going to use. If that looks really confusing, don't worry about it. The workshops are designed to be beginner friendly, so no experience is required. We'll kind of walk through step by step with kind of weekly checkpoints that you can build off of if you miss a workshop. And we're going to kind of build all that up. Okay, cool. And then in addition to that, we're going to be running 4 socials this quarter. So we're going to have one right after this GM, where we're going to kind of poll people and then probably go and get some boba. And then we have 3 others planned, rock climbing, study social, and then board games. Okay, cool. Any questions on our kind of overall plans? Yeah, go ahead. You can't become part of the leadership team directly. We do have plans for that, which Daniel will talk about under future plans. There are ways to get more involved going forward. Yep. Yes. So as an intern, you would kind of actually help lead. So you need to prepare resources, that kind of thing. Yeah. Yep. Good question. Anyone else? Okay, so let's get into some of the details for the actual workshop series that we're running this quarter. These are mostly here, so if you want to take a look at the specifics, you can. I'm not going to go through everything. But for the first workshop, it's just going to be an introduction to AWS. we're going to be talking through why we chose AWS, kind of motivate why people should use cloud, and then talking about virtual machines and how you can actually create one. Okay, our second workshop will be about actually deploying using Docker and Elastic Beanstalk, which basically just helps you create virtual machines. We'll be talking about how you can actually create Docker images and deploy them as containers, as well as kind of going through what the front end would look like for a full stack app with React. Okay. Then our third workshop will be on continuous integration and deployment. So you've heard the term DevOps or CI/CD. We'll be kind of describing what those are and then actually implementing it. So this will allow you to push a change out to where you're storing your code and then have it automatically kind of deploy it into the lifecycle. We will be taking a break week 6 for midterms, but after that, we will be doing our serverless and databases workshop. So this will allow you to build out that data tier at the back end using those 3 services that are highlighted there. Okay, and then we will be closing out with infrastructure as code. So this will allow you to kind of save your entire application as a piece of code so that you can kind of edit it and use version control and deploy it with just a single command. Okay, so let me quickly show you what the app will look like as a little brief demo here. Just run that. The app we're going to be working with is kind of oh, thanks. Okay. Yeah, the app we're going to be working with is kind of like a very simple Facebook clone. So it'll allow users to kind of log in, add friends, and then kind of edit a description for their own like profile. So just to kind of showcase that, I think one of the users I've added, Joe Bruin 123, password is just 154. So if I log in, we can see there's a little description there. And we can kind of add, what do you want to say? Favorite, committee, ACM Cloud. Okay, even though we're not technically a committee. But yeah, so you can add your own keys, right? You can delete them. And then you can kind of play around with the friends too. And then we also have the ability to look through all the current users in the site and add friends. So yeah, pretty straightforward. We're also going to have ways that you can kind of build upon this. So if you're like really on it, you have everything done, you can add things to this, or you can actually create your own. Okay. So before we move on, any questions on that? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, so each workshop will be consecutive, but there are kind of logical checkpoints. So we're going to have like a repo that will, so if you skip one, for example, right, you can just pull the latest code from the previous week and then just use that and build off of it. Yep. Any other questions? Okay. That's good.
All right, so now we're going to talk about future plans. So if you thought that was interesting, just watch what we have in store for you in the spring. So right now we're planning to run a more theoretical track later in the spring. It's going to be similar to like a CS 180/111 course, but for like distributed systems. And we're currently like have some options available that we're trying to see which ones are there's most interest in. So we have like a reading group where you just go through like an academic paper each week, and we learn really deeply about a specific concept for that week. We also have like a research project, which is going to be like a quarter-long project, and the goal is to like publish a research paper by the end of it. And we also have a workshop track that we're trying to accompany with all these. But yeah, but these are like just to gauge interest in like which format you want to see this happen in. So yeah, please fill out the interest form so we can know which of these options to push for going into it. And if you're interested in really interested in the theoretical aspect of distributed systems or deploying cloud computing solutions, yeah, you can help out with the planning for this future track in the spring by filling out this interest form. there's like an option in the form that says, yes, you're interested in helping with planning. So there's that. And we're also planning to have a guest speaker. Someone on this list of guest speakers is going to speak in spring 2024. And we're currently working that out. But if there's a speaker you'd like to see, then contact us and we'll try to get that sorted out. Okay, and now social. And also, yeah, I'm just gonna.
Yes, be sure to fill out the interest form on the left here if you want to join the email list. If you haven't joined our Discord, I think the link is also on that. But if not, let us know. And then Daniel, can you move this thing?
Oh, God, okay.
Yeah, this is to join the theory track for next quarter. Yeah.
Is that the last slide? Okay. Yeah, 3 times in like. This 6 workshops, right? Like 3, 4, 5 break, 7, 8, 9. And nothing for finals week.
That sounds right. Cool, yeah. Does anyone still need the form links? Everyone good?
And then we're the-
Well, let's push the slides.
Oh.
Okay.